Hey friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're talking about a knife that's only available in Canada and only at Canadian Tire stores. This is from their Maximum series. It's a sort of multi-tool kind of knife. What do they call it? Multi-tool folding knife is what they call it. And it's model number 057-7513-4. Which I just looked up on the Canadian Tire website again, and it looks like they've changed it. So the one that's currently available in your stores might be this one, and it might be the one that's newly coming out. Because I bought this just, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, maybe, I forget exactly, roughly something like that. And yeah, we've got sort of a plastic handle scales. We've got a multi-tool screwdriver. We've got a blade with a thumb stud deployment liner lock on there and a wire pocket clip. But we also have one other little bit of a tool right up there. I'll go to the desktop right now and I'll show you all about this knife and what I think about it. This one was $19.99 Canadian. The new one is $21.99. So, well, let's hope it's better. I'll show you what I mean. Stick around. Okay, I did an unboxing video of this, so if you saw that, I'm not going to show you the packaging, just a clamshell package. It came with the pocket clip in the tip-down orientation, which puts it right close to the top. I prefer tip up, but that means you've got more of the knife going to stick out of your pocket when you use it. Not bad. It's a utility knife. That's not bad at all. It's a decent clip. We got a big lanyard hole right there, sort of a weird shape. But yeah, that's fine. The blade does okay. I mean, the lanyard does okay. Pocket clip, that's, I don't even know if that's a T8. I forget now because I moved it fairly early on. Yeah, that's a T8. And so it's not that hard to move the pocket clip back and forth. You know, it's a loose, wiggly pocket clip. It's not anything special, but it works okay. Back here's a tool holder. It uses a liner lock mechanism. So watch this piece of steel right here. Click over. Not bad. There's lock rock, of course. A little bit of side-to-side play. Not a big deal. This is aluminum, and you've got a number 2 Phillips number 2 Robertson bit in there. It's yeah, regular Canadian Tire quality bit. It's got a detent ball in it. It stays in there pretty well, and it works pretty well. It's a decent bit. Canadian Tire has been making a lot of tools for a long time, so this part of it is just fine. And you can put almost any 1/4-inch drive bit in there, even some long ones. Oh, here, I'll just grab one. I've got, what is it? This is a T6 from Weehaw. Fits in there, but there's no magnet in there, and it'll fall out because there's no magnet in there. So tip it over, it falls out, because it also would need that detent ball. So it very specifically needs this kind of bit. So that kind of sucks a little bit because we all know that bits wear out. Even the decent ones, like these aren't anything special. They're not a great bit by any stretch of the imagination. They're okay, but bits wear out. And so now I have to have a bit that's got that ball. So it's a nice idea, but they could have done it so much better if it would work with regular bits. So I could use anything in there that I want, not just that style of bit. Those cost extra. They're not that cheap. So there you go. That's that part of it. It works okay. You can get pretty decent torque on this. I did use it, you know, in that position, so I've got more of leverage. I don't like it. I don't trust this for much torque at all. So if you can't screw it, take the screw out in this long orientation, if you need more torque, go get a proper screwdriver. Go get something better than this, because yeah, that's not a good thing. But you get a little detent hole in there. It holds it in there. It opens up super easily. So the detent hole isn't really holding it in the closed position all that well. So I did notice this come open sometimes. It's one of the reasons why I chose to have it tipped down, because when tip up and it comes out, and then, you know, it can snag on something on the side. Remember, this is $20 Canadian, and yeah, the quality shows in that tool for sure. This tool here, I thought it was supposed to be like a kind of maybe a scraper, a bit of a pry. No, it doesn't work well for those at all. Certainly not a scraper, but even a pry bar, not really, because of how thick this is. This screw head sticks out quite far, and you know, this plastic comes out fairly far as well, so it's really hard to get at anything. It works okay as a flat screwdriver, and not good. It doesn't work well at that. It just sort of works okay at that. It can be a little annoying. Let's deploy the blade because that's the only other thing left on this thing. Don't like it. So the blade, we've got thumb studs, which are okay, and the action right here is really nice. Now, that's because I've taken it apart and I lubricated it nicely in there with some, you know, really high-end lubricant, some Gunny Glide, and that helped an awful lot. And I made this tight, just as tight as I needed, so that, you know, there's some blade play side to side, not much. It's very little. I made it just tight enough so that there wouldn't be a lot of blade play. Lock rock, no, not really. That's pretty good. Lock up, this was the best one. I went through, when I bought this, I looked, you can see this on the package because it comes, what does it come like this at the store in the package. So you can look in the side of the package like this. Oh, my camera's bouncing. And you can see how much lock engagement you have. I don't want really late lock engagement. I don't want it far off on this side, but I want it fully engaged. You don't want it way over here either. You can see that. This was the very best one there. So if you are going to buy a knife like that, take a look at what you got. But it's okay there. We've got white nylon washers, as you can see right in there. I'm not doing any close-up pictures. This knife doesn't really deserve it. The blade shape, quite good. Nice little drop point, bit of a swedge here. Not too terribly thick, and I'm not doing all the measurements on this. It's about 22 thousandths of an inch right here. You got a little bit over half of a millimeter thick right behind the grind. Sort of a stonewash finish on this steel. This thing went dull really quickly. It's a fairly soft steel. They don't tell you what the steel is. Remember, it's 20 bucks. It's not going to be a good steel. It's just a decent steel to use. Sharpening this thing, I did put it into my sharpener. You do have to sort of put it in a very special position because your thumb studs are going to get in the way of sharpening it potentially, depending on what angle you want. This steel like this, I wouldn't go any less than 20 degrees per side. So I just wouldn't, because you're just asking for it to get dull even faster. Now, you don't want too much of an angle because then you're not going to cut anything. Yeah, so it's okay. Now, is this a decent knife just to have in your toolbox? Well, no, not in my opinion, because I'd rather have a proper multi-tool a multi-tip screwdriver, which there's loads of them available in the market these days. Have one of those in my, glove box, and then have a decent knife in my glove box, because there's really nothing else on this. It's not multi-tool. We've got a blade, we've got a 2-head screwdriver, we've got no place to put more screw bits, nothing like that. We got really cheap steel. I'd rather have a Mora, in my glove box with this. That's mostly useless. It's pretty thin, and it's not a great driver. Getting the angles just right, rounded corners. And then I decided, well, I'm going to take it apart to see exactly how well it's constructed. Well, no, I couldn't. This screw, it just chewed up the first time I tried it, and I was trying to be careful. I did use some drive grip, and I was able to get it out, but by the time I got it back in and sort of snugged, it's stripped. It's not coming in and out again. It's done. This one got chewed up a bit, not too bad because it's a T8. It's a little bit better. It's a little more resistant to stripping out, but the play in it, it's okay, but it's just not great. This one here, same thing. It's okay, not great. The these screws are really, really soft screws. Get that tension just right and it works okay. So it's a decent little knife, but no, it's not a good knife. It's not a good choice. If you've got an extremely tight budget and you want a knife like this, sure, consider it. In the Maximum series, I think there's like 5 or 6 different knives, 2 or 3 that are folding knives like this. You got one with a hawkbill blade, sort of like a carpet knife kind of blade shape, which could come in handy in a lot of times. But especially if you need a carpet knife, you need one of those hawkbill blades. You don't want it made out of this cheap steel because it'll get dull so fast. And those are a whole lot harder to sharpen, than a fairly straight edge blade. So no, you want to get yourself a quality hawkbill knife with a decent steel. You just want to. And, this is mostly a gimmick, in my opinion, right there. Pocket clip, it's a good idea. Lanyard, I don't know why I would ever put a lanyard on a utility knife, but maybe, and you can, so there you go. So that's it. This is the Maximum fixed blade. No, that's the other one I got to review, the fixed Tanto knife. It's the same steel. I'm not sure how soon I'm going to review that one, but it's the same steel and stuff. It's the MulitiTool folding knife. Includes knife and screwdriver. They don't even talk about this on the package there. So, yeah, that's just weird. Just weird. So, there you go. $20. Now 22 in the new version of this knife. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, cut towards your chum, not your thumb.